Traders, today I built you guys a strategy and I'm going to show you exactly how to trade it. As a trader, you need to have multiple strategies in your toolbox for when different problems arise. And today's goal is to help you add another tool to your toolbox. Not only that, I'm going to teach you a little bit about the special liquidity zone within this trading strategy that makes it so effective. All right, let's check it out. So first we need to talk about what market structure is this strategy going to lie within. It's very simple. What you're going to look for is a major support in a market or a major resistance. And where this strategy gets initiated is when you see a gap above the resistance or you see a gap below the major support. And when I say gap, that's an after hours price action move. What gaps do is they change the fundamental structure of a market. There is a bunch of limit orders on this resistance of sells, and there's a bunch of limit orders here for buys. And pushing through that during the day is not enough to make those people change their orders. Only when a gap happens do these guys panic and finally switch sides. And if you can find where this is happening or happened, our strategy works. So now you know what market structure to look out for. Now we can actually deploy the strategy. Now, like I said, if we get a gap down below the major support, we're actually going to take an initial trade right at market open, anticipating that it will continue to trade in the direction of the gap down. And likewise, with a gap up over the major resistance, we're going to take a trade at market open, going long, anticipating that it will go in the direction of the gap. This works exceptional whether you day trade or swing trade. If you're tired of my wonderful drawing, here's a price action example. A price action parallel was forming right here, and so this was the major levels. And you'll notice we gapped right underneath of it, and if you would have traded that short at the open, you would have caught a nice follow through. Because all of these buyers right here switched sides and changed their order. But that's not the whole strategy. See, this strategy gives you two opportunities to turn a profit. Remember how I said that the buyers here are going to switch sides? Well, they're now sellers, and they're going to create a new tidal wave of selling pressure in the market. There's going to be an imbalance on that next candle right after the gap down. And so where there's an imbalance, there's a zone. So we can draw a zone from body to body of that candle right after the gap down and drag it over. And this is where our second opportunity arises. On the first touch back into that zone, we're going to trade it short again. This zone is known as an expansion zone. And again, here with an example to the upside, right here, we have a major resistance level. We gap largely above it on earnings, and you'll see there's a big green candle. So our first entry is here at market open, whether we're day trading or swing trading. And then we're going to draw a support zone from body to body and extend that into the future. And any dips into that level on the first bounce is our highest chance that the liquidity is fresh and it will continue to bounce off. The reason we set it to the first bounce is because that's when liquidity is freshest. The water and hole principle states that the more times you touch a zone, the more orders get absorbed and the weaker it's going to be. And you can notice that after several touches, we come back and yeah, that zone got wrecked. But that's why we focus on the first touches only. So I've built you the basics of this strategy. It's fairly simple in principle, but if you want to do really, really well with this strategy, you need to understand these few things. Number one, you're going to have to determine what is the major level that it needs to gap under. It's not always just the low, it's where the structure breaks down. In this case, it would have been right here, which leads me to number two. Sometimes you'll see that the gap doesn't completely clear the key zone. So we have a rule. As long as the gap plus the candle in pair break that key zone, it is still valid and considered an expansion zone. So perhaps you missed the first entry, but that second one should be easy. Number three, sometimes you'll take your first entry and you'll realize how big of a candle this actually goes, which makes it impractical to draw your expansion zone for a future trade. So in the cases where these candles get so large, you want to go down to the 1 hour time frame and highlight often that first candle on that day. Number four, if there is no follow through after the gap up over the zone, then don't draw a zone for a future bounce because it is invalidated. And lastly, try to avoid trading whenever you see a gap up that's after a huge move. Right here, we're at all-time highs, and to trade a gap up here is very risky because it's often a sign of exhaustion and you will see a heavy decline after. Again, right here, we had a massive push and we gapped up right here. This was exhaustion and it fell like a rock. Putting it all together, we're going to look for that major zone, this resistance here. We're going to look for a gap up above, and this initiates the strategy. Our first entry is going to be long on that market open in the direction of the gap. You always follow the direction of the gap. Given we do get that strong response and it continues higher, we're going to then outline our new given liquidity zone on the daily time frame from body to body. Gap up, it's always going to be a support. Gap down, it's going to be a resistance. This is our expansion zone. Come back into it in the future. The first touch is going to be the strongest percentage win rate trade. And that's it, guys. I've been using this strategy for years under my mentor, and it has produced some of the easiest trades and some of the biggest for that, given that you follow these rules. And my strategy toolbox is pretty damn big. So if you want to see some more quick strategies strategy videos like this one, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It'd mean a lot to me. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace
I never switch sides, like even when I die.